Welcome to Heian Haven. I'm Dawn. As promised, I have our first costuming video. I created this, an ensemble inspired by one of the illustrations Tosa Mitsunobu did of Chapter 20 of the Tale of Genji for the fashion show at a market day at Birka, an SCA event. The challenge was issued to create a pre-1600 ensemble that was inspired by illumination and marginalia. This image was captured by Justine Weston. When I heard about the challenge, I immediately thought of the Bluebell, Asagao, Chapter 20. Here you can see what the museum describes as the 20th of a series of 54 painted album leaves mounted in an album with calligraphic excerpts, ink, color, and gold on paper. This painting belongs to the Harvard Art Museum's Arthur M. Sackler Museum and is a bequest of the Hofer collection of the arts of Asia. I thought of this particular illustration as I had looked at it recently while once again trying to find a blue kasane no irome layered color combination. You'll notice in the upper left, the lady is wearing a blue kasane. I'd call it Hanada no Nioi, lightning blue, but it's not an accurate source for Heian fashion. This illustration is dated between 1509 and 1510, more than 300 years after the end of the Heian period, its artistic license. However, there are also page girls rolling snowballs. One of them is wearing what I interpret as white over pink, and another white over red, both color pairings that made me think of Yuki no Shita, Under the Snow. This combination is found in at least 3 variations. We have deepening shades of kobei, plum pink, under white, shades of maroon and red under white, and deepening shades of maroon under white. I'm very partial to the pink variation because pink, and because the pink, kobei, is translated as plum pink by some sources, and I'm very fond of plum blossoms as well. My favorite combination is kobei no nioi, lightning shades of plum pink. I'm going to start work on that combination in July. A side note, Yuki no Shita is always worn with an ao or blue-green hitoe underrobe. I did wear a more period-accurate version of Yuki no Shita at another event a week later. Here's a picture of my variation, or simplified version, that I wore. I like this variation more than what I wore at the fashion show, as it's more accurate. But back to the fashion show entry. In my existing Heian wardrobe, I already had red and pink layers and nagabakama, long gathered red trousers, and a white kosode, the next to skin layer. I just needed to make a white uwagi, top layer, and I was set for the fashion show. And the good news was I already had one cut out from several years ago sitting in my UFO pile. I also needed a giant snowball to better imitate the illustration, so I ordered the biggest white beach ball I could find. It was so big, I had to deflate it a bit to actually get it out of my hotel room. I wore a red hitoe, underrobe, and a pink ichigino, middle robe, and a white uwagi. I left my wig loose as the page girls were depicted with loose hair. My makeup is theatrical makeup I used to create the look of a Heian period makeup. I'll make a video at some point showing how I do that. I really enjoyed being a part of the fashion show. This is the second year I've participated, and to my great delight, this year I was named the winner of the early period category. There were so many wonderful entries. It was tremendous fun to bring an illustration to life, and I'm absolutely tickled that not only was this from the Tale of Genji, so it fits right in with our big project, but the fashion show happened in late January of this year, 2024, while I was working on Chapter 17. So I knew I could get this video created in time to be a fun bonus video for Chapter 20. Some things I learned. I already knew this, but white gets dirty fast. After wearing the white uwagi to that event and later to 2 others, this garment may be done for. I'm going to hand wash the dirty areas and see if that ruins the fabric. Yeah, it's a 100% poly polissoir satin that I think was marked dry clean only when I acquired it more than 20 years ago. And if it survives, I'll hem it because it's a few inches too long. The collar as well needs to be taken up a few inches. If it doesn't survive, I can turn it into something else, likely a kosode. And I have enough fabric to remake it anyway, I think. And I've ideas to make it better, including a more accurate pattern. Also, people are silly around beach balls. It was tremendous fun to roll the beach ball through the hotel. So many wide-eyed stares from children. I expected one of them to ask to play, but no one did, until after the fashion show, and it wasn't a child. I had an adult scamper up and roll the ball away from me, giggling like a mad person. It was all in good fun, and I laughed pretty hard as they rolled the ball back over to me. I have a blog entry up with the details of creating this ensemble, link in the description below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to explore the Heian period of Japan with me through costuming.